Today is Tuesday, June 20th, and this is the Post Up. He's Brandon London. I'm Ryan Sampson. What's up, Brandon? How are you, man?
Man, fresh off my first Father's Day, feeling like $1,000,000. In fact, right before we jumped on, I'm just fed a baby. So just fed a baby. So it's a new day in B London world, man. What's up with you, my guy?
Not that much, man. Same old stuff. There's a lot of stories going on. I
Yep.
wanted to start off with our first story, man. Let's get right into it. Ja Morant.
Uh-oh.
Obviously, we saw he was suspended 25 games by the NBA after another Instagram live video caught him with what appeared to be another gun in his hand, showing that off. And there was a lot of, him getting crushed by the media, crushed by fans. How can you get caught again like this after previously being spotted with a gun? It's a hot topic, Ja Morant. And he came out, and there's been all of a sudden this, I'm going to speak out again after saying that he wasn't going to talk on social media, saying he thinks that the NBA and the media are out to get him. Give me your take on this, Brandon, the situation that's going on with Ja right now.
People trying to say his camp, like that whole camp, he and his camp feel like the media, the NBA is out to get him. I call cap on it. I call BS, man. Just kiss the baby, like Ocho Cinco said. Now it's all about you've got the suspension. You came up with the Chat GPT apology. You've done the two things you needed to do. Now it's about trying to get back in people's good graces. And when reports like this come out, this is like you had a gun again, in a sense, because it seems like someone from your camp or your entourage is not allowing you to take accountability. So if it's the entourage that's coming out with these reports or that's leaking that, you're the reason why this man's in this position in the first place. I know he's a grown man. You shouldn't be toting around. You as the entourage, you guys and y'all's public image of what y'all trying to be B-boys and Mr. Cool guys toting guns. You guys are the reason why he's in it. And if it's his camp, when I mean like lawyers and agents in that sense, y'all better not be saying this. You better have someone typing up something right now in the press saying that this does not come from Ja. We don't know where this source comes from. Ja is ready to accept the 25-game suspension, and he's ready to get back to the basketball court. Kiss the baby. I remember been a teammate of Ocho Cinco up in Canada and in Montreal when he played with the Alouettes in the CFL. Remember, he got into the trouble with the headbutt, and he smacked the butt of his agent, of the lawyer, and got in trouble. After that, you never heard anything from Ocho Cinco after that. He took accountability and he worked on his public image. And now Ocho Cinco is good everywhere. He's marketable anywhere and everywhere. So right now, Ja Morant just needs, in his camp or his entourage, needs to focus on putting him in positions to show accountability and remorse so he can get back on the basketball court.
Yeah, now obviously this is all coming from a report that came from Tim McMahon.
Yep.
And he said that he had heard internally, indirectly, that John, like you said, people around him felt that the NBA was out to get him. And then there was a tweet that went out, that quote tweeted it saying, no, big cap, which is obviously means somebody's lying.
Yep.
And then Ja decided to retweet that, but he later deleted it. I think you're putting yourself in this situation. You were a top 2 draft pick. You took the NBA by storm. I mean, your dunks are magical when you see them, and you're on the highlight reel every night, and everyone knows who you are. And there's just story after story after story with Ja about stuff that doesn't involve action on the court.
Yep.
And I think when you see this start to tumble and it snowballs into an effect like this, and another story after another, and then all of a sudden you get into the firearms discussion and you seen holding a gun not once but twice, the NBA has to take action here just because of how it's such an, I don't want to be too on the nose, but it's an explosive topic, firearms and safety. And I don't know. I don't know much about Ja in his personal life. I know that, he didn't have as much of a tough upbringing as he may be betraying, or in this image that he's trying to put out there. It's off-putting to obviously see that he's no longer agreeing with the NBA's decision. And I actually thought they were a little light Like I thought it was going to be him coming down with a half the season suspension at least. From what Adam Silver was saying and other reports that you heard that they're going to come down hard on Ja to make a a point of, this is zero tolerance when it comes to guns and firearms. We're not going to accept this at all. So it's a little sad to see that, Ja apparently agrees that, we think the NBA is out to get us. We think the media is out to get us. Stop getting caught on social media in these situations. Point blank.
And for that, I tried to give him the benefit of the doubt until you gave me that report, until he retweeted and then deleted. I tried to give him the benefit of the doubt and blame it on the entourage or blame it on the camp. But now, you know what? Maybe they are out to get you now, because it's a get and give relationship, especially when it comes to media. The media is going to be out to get you because you're giving us content. You're giving us something to talk about.
Yep.
It's a dead period in sports. No disrespect to baseball and cornhole and World Series of baseball and all that good stuff. No one wants to talk about that. If we're talking about the NBA, we want to talk about either some signing trades or some wild trade like the
Brandon. We're about to have the draft on Thursday.
Tell me the draft.
Victor Wembanyama is the biggest draft prospect since LeBron. But we're still talking about Ja Morant as the top NBA story right now. That's where we're at right now. That's real. That's not we're out to get you, Ja. It's when you keep feeding into the media frenzy. I think that's when, like I said, it snowballs on you. And now we're not going to stop talking about you because you do these things. So I just don't know if there's going to be if he's ever going to learn. He's young. He's still got a lot of his career left in front of him. Thing like a 25-game suspension, I think that people need to realize too, this cost him a lot of money. Because you talk about next year when you could be eligible for the Supermax. It all depends on if you're all NBA and second team all NBA. Those votes from the writers and people that cover you as a player, that's where that's getting determined if you're going to get that, you're eligible for that Supermax. So that's money out of your pocket right there. If you're suspended and you're not playing for the whole entire season.
You got to play 85% to be eligible. You got to play 85% of the season. So, and that 25 knocks you off. Yeah.
So it's costing him his money. So I think that's when it like, I'm sure you know this with the NFL, you start to take money away from players. Oh, yeah. That's when they start to catch the hint. Like, gotta square up, man. Gotta get better.
Yep.
We'll see how this situation develops even more. But yeah, we're, like you said, it's the off season and we're still talking about Ja Morant. Let's go to our next story. Patriots cornerback Jack Jones. You want to stick with the gun topic here, man. He's facing some serious charges here, being caught in an airport with a gun. Give me your take on this, Brandon. I know you covered it a little bit today on the Dayside Crew, but this story, unbelievable, man.
Ryan, at the end of OTAs, off-season workouts, and mini camp, when that wraps up, and whether it be on the field before that coach breaks you, Robert Saleh gave the Jets that entire week off. Brian Daboll and those guys had a 2-day mini camp. Then they're off for that summer. That little grace period. Get away from the building. Get around your family members. Get your last things of workouts. Get healthy. Because when you come back, it's for real.
Yep.
Every coach gives the speech. And at the end of that speech, every coach says, I don't want to read about you. On this break, I do not want to read about you, whether it be DUI, which we haven't seen player DUI in quite some time, whether it be domestic abuse, and now the hot topic now is guns, especially when you with the Patriots and it's the Patriot way, especially when you were suspended towards the end of your rookie year for missing rehab and disrespecting Bill Belichick, future Hall of Fame coach Bill Belichick. This has got to be, there's nothing you can tell me as a teammate, as a former athlete, or why you would have allegedly two loaded firearms in your bag. Ryan, we travel. I don't even keep the big can of deodorant in my travel bag. Yep. And I check to make sure it's not in there, let alone two firearms. I do not understand how this happened. I don't want to hear, oh, my girl packed my bag or somebody packed my bag. It's just one of those things where you're gonna have to go away. You just cost your NFL career, and you may even cost yourself your CFL career, because now if you get convicted in a felony, you can't get up to Canada to play in the CFL. You're going to play in the XFL. Is The Rock going to let you in? Who knows? Your career, your football career could be over all
On the
because of
line.
a stupid decision.
But not even his football career. He's facing up to 30 years in prison right now. Obviously, Jack Jones was arrested on Friday when he was trying to board a Los Angeles bound flight from Boston Airport with 2 loaded guns. Not just one, but 2. Jones pled not guilty today, and he posted a $30,000 bail. His lawyer spoke today. He said all Mr. Jones wants to do is play football. He doesn't want to be a distraction at all. And
all I want to do is a zoom, 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 and a boom, boom, and shake my rump.
And dude, like you talk about the Patriots and the Belichick way. The Athletics, Jeff Howe, it's an obvious thing to say, but he reported the Patriots are reportedly livid about his arrest. You have to be. He's a serious contributor on this Patriots defense too. He's a very good corner. He's depended on that defense too. And you know how Belichick puts a lot of pressure on those corners to be responsible out there. It's just another situation with a gun. I just don't understand how you think this was a good idea even.
And the Patriots offense the Patriots front office should be livid because it's a situation. Like you never want any player. Again, you tell every player, I don't want to read about you. You don't want no player to go through something like that. The 90th player on the roster is a guy like, if you were to do something stupid, I can easily make an example out of you. You're the 90th guy on the roster. You're Brandon London trying to make the team. I easily cut you for doing something stupid. But here's a guy where you're in our plans. You're in our system.
Yep.
He played 13 games, had two interceptions. He has a defensive touchdown on the kid can play.
Yeah, he can.
The kid is trending in the right direction. And this happens. It's why these young, and I'm not trying to act like anyone out there, every athlete out there is supposed to walk the straight and narrow. Things happen, man. I get how things happen, but there is just like an offensive drive, self-inflicted penalties, self-inflicted wounds are going to hurt you in the game of football and the game of life. Now this dude is not worried about, forget trying to cover 3. Forget cover 3. You might do cover 3 years and more, 30 years. You know what I'm saying? And it's unfortunate, and why maybe we got to wait till his side of the story comes out. But at this point, between a Ja Morant and now this guy, it's all going to fall within Deftone ears, Ryan. I don't want to hear no mental health. I don't want to hear none of that. I don't want to hear anything off of that. This is a terrible decision for this young man to allegedly have 2 firearms in his bag. I don't even know why we got to say allegedly if they found it.
Yeah, it's another sad situation to see, and you put it perfectly there, man. I don't know what else to say about him. Let's go to our next topic and back to the NBA. Zion Williamson.
Oh, a story that we can smile about. Thank you, Ryan.
Yeah, something we can smile about. I don't know if Zion's smiling about this story though. Obviously, after he announced that he was going to have a baby girl with his apparent girlfriend, porn star Mariah Mills came on to social media and blast him because they apparently had relations previously or currently. And now it's gotten a little out of hand now for Zion, even more when Mariah Mills decided to go to Twitter on Monday and drop a couple tweets, including saying, NBA, I have sex tapes of me and Zion. And he also has them on his trap phone. Trade him now. He doesn't deserve to be in New Orleans. Sex tapes dropping soon. She also went on to say, and tweet, I should say, you will lose all your endorsements if the sex tapes drop, Zion. You about to be traded and rank be lowered and replaced by Trey on the Pelicans. It's over for you, fat bust. I mean, she didn't have to go that hard into him.
You didn't have to go that hard, lady. You didn't have to go that hard. But if you want to tell your side of the story, the New York Post Sports would love to have you on, the post up to hear your side of the story. We won't, definitely not going to show the tapes. Definitely not going to show the tapes, but we would love to hear your side of the story. But that, you know what? Shame on you, Brandon Leonard, for saying that, because it's exactly what she wants.
I know. Yeah.
My mom used to tell me back in the day, like, hell hath no fury worse than a woman scorned. Forget that. This is blazing hot. Forget if she tried to extort you for, let's say, 20K a month allegedly or whatever, like whatever extortion, you might have been better off paying that, Ryan. You might have been better off paying that, because this is going to cost you. You can't be in Space Jam 3 after this. This is going to cost this man a lot of money. I can't be looking at Bugs Bunny and Zion Williamson together, Looney Tune cartoons after a sex tape leaks on this man. And you're at the point where you've missed so many games of your career. The ability is your best ability is availability. And now you got a Kim Kardashian. You are not Ray J. And this woman has no shame. So there's nothing you can do to shut her up. She's a porn star. She don't care. To her, she was working for, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's just an everyday thing to her. But this is bad business. Someone, forget his entourage, someone within his camp needs to come with some sort of legal action right now. Cease and desist, whatever happened to NDAs in the NBA, whatever it is, bring Johnny Cochran back. Something needs to happen because his image is taking a huge hit when it comes to this. And I cannot, and you would you make him the face of your franchise now? Would you trade for him to be, not only does he not play a lot because he's injured, but now you got the face of your franchise with a sex tape out. Do you pay this man?
Listen, you know what's wild even more about, as more of these things come out from Mariah Mills on her side, you know, there's screenshots of Snapchat conversations she's had with Zion. She's alleged that she's helped him get back into shape for the NBA to play.
Kanye's workout plan.
There's screenshots she's posted to Instagram of her in blue body paint that resembles the Duke colors. It supposedly has his numbers painted on her body. I don't know, man. Believe it or not, Zion's still being talked about as we lead up into the NBA draft, that he could be traded because the Pelicans obviously apparently are enthused by some of those players early in the draft. This is obviously a very talent-laden draft. I think teams are still interested in him. I don't see why not. He was arguably one of the best athletes to come out of the draft in a while as a number one pick. I don't know what's going to happen with him, man. I'm going to guess that he's going to get traded probably on draft night because there's just so much noise about it right now. No matter how much Mariah Mills is even telling him, trade him, Pelicans, get rid of him, get him out of New Orleans. I don't know what's going to happen to Zion, but yeah, it's an interesting dynamic to have right now that Zion, we do not want to see those sex tapes at all. We don't want to see that. I'd rather see you on the court playing basketball, hopefully for a team that's more prevalent than the Pelicans, in my opinion, because I think you're wasting away right there. And I don't think he wants to be, I don't think he wants to be there. I don't think he wants to be there.
On the other hand, this could help him.
Help him get out. It can help him get out.
It can help you get out, but this can help your image in a way. You don't have to do Space Jam. You could do Love and Hip Hop. You know, you could do some sort of, like, if you think about it, I was just watching. I don't want to call my sister-in-law out on this one, but she was watching some sort of reality show the other day, and they were just going back and forth. And I'm like, I'm sitting there with my baby boy, like, is she really watching this? And she's like glued into that type of TV. People love that type of drama. So this could help him in a certain way, there's a demographic that loves this type of drama. Kim Kardashian, she's a billionaire off of a sex tape or that helped project her career. Right. And she don't even hoop. She just dated hoopers.
I don't know if people want, like, I don't think anyone's asking for a Zion Williamson sex tape.
Absolutely not.
My thing though also is, and I think you know this, Brandon, as an athlete, I think the famous thing Herm Edwards ever said, don't press send. Like the phone can be your worst enemy, especially as a pro athlete, and everything can be recorded. Everything can be saved. I think when it comes to situations like this, you got to be smarter, man. You got to be smarter when it comes.
What if he didn't hit send? The man got a trap phone. Maybe he didn't bring his phones out. Maybe it was her phone. You can't get that. Once it's in the cloud, you can't get that back.
You're not wrong about that. So we're gonna see what happens. Maybe Zion's playing for a new team by Thursday. We'll see. Let's go to our next topic. Stay in the NBA. Draymond Green seen partying with LeBron James over in France. Now, Draymond just declined his player option on his deal, so he is going to be a free agent. So this made the rumor mills go up about where's Draymond going to play? Is he going to stay with Golden State? Or is he going to go, let's say, the Los Angeles Lakers with his buddy LeBron? What do you make of Draymond? Do you think he's worth pursuing if you're a Lakers?
Yeah, I mean, you love that grit. And here's a guy that's going to play darn near all 82. You know, he does. I know he's a little up there in age a little bit, but Draymond's a competitor and he wants to be out there on the court. I think this could be great for LeBron, and even more, it could be great for Anthony Davis. Now you don't have to play as hard on defense. You could just be a scoring machine. You got your enforcer right there. But LeBron and his legal tampering, his version of legal tampering, you know, with the banana boat with Chris Paul, that's another person that you should watch to see if he goes to the Lakers and all. But I look at this for LeBron. He wants to go out with one more. And he understands that he can turn it on towards the end of a year. And you want to have a roster or guys on the roster that are like-minded, who are championship caliber players, right, and have dog in them. And if you look at Jordan's final season with the Wizards, who did he have on that roster? Jerry Stackhouse. He was an all-star. They signed Larry Hughes in the offseason, Brian Russell, Charles Oakley. He also had Christian Laettner, Kwame Brown, Brendan Haywood. They didn't make it to the playoffs that year. So LeBron James, aka LeGM James, is building a championship roster without it being an all-star team, because like people are saying about KD, you put an asterisk by that championship if you're around amongst superstars. So bringing in a Draymond it's star enough to where it's I have someone to help me not get swept against Joker and Jamal Murray, but he's not superstar, but he's also good enough to be able to come in, have a championship attitude, and go and be able to play the distance and get them to the NBA finals. That's how I looked at it. I think it's great. It's just homies hanging out.
Yeah, they've been friends for a while. They're part of the same tequila company, I believe. Investors in that. They have the same agent, Rich Paul. So yeah, you connect the dots there a little bit. Wouldn't surprise me if, like you said, GM LeBron James is trying to recruit him there. My question to you, though, is the Warriors, you know, Klay Thompson's entering the last year of his deal. Steph Curry, obviously still there. Is Draymond, would it be smart to leave where you made your career and where you built your legacy? I mean, those two guys, and all three of them together, obviously, are part of that core that's won 4 championships there in Golden State. So do you think that's actually a good move if he were to leave in free agency and say, I'm going to go out on my own now?
All dynasties have to fall at some point. You did it. You can never take away what they did. You know, it's like I just said, Jordan was a Wizard. We all thought that Jordan was going to be a Chicago Bull forever until we saw what happened in The Last Dance when they kind of explained everything. So it's one of those things. He wants that super max. If I'm the Wizards, they just lost something Ross. They just lost their president of the basketball operations. It's now Mike Dunleavy Jr.
It's Mike Dunleavy Jr. Yeah.
Now it's Mike Dunleavy Jr. That supermax money can go elsewhere. Klay, I keep Klay because of the shooter that he is in Game 6 Klay. But Draymond, you can find another Draymond. I can develop another Draymond. Okay. You know, that heart, you can't find that heart anywhere. You know, that has to be someone that you go out. That's Meta World Peace, Draymond Green. Those are those tough, Latrell Sprewell, those are those tough, nitty-gritty type athletes to that you want on a championship roster. But it'd be easier to find that than it will a Klay Thompson. And you're going to have to free up some money. So there's going to be a lot of people that are upset if he does leave. But at the end of the day, you'll never be able to take away what that Warriors dynasty did. But it's 2023 going into the 2023-2024 season. It's a new day. Yeah. It's a new day in NBA basketball.
Yeah, and this will be the next big contract for Draymond. He's 33 years old. He's still got he's still got plenty of basketball left in him, as long as he wants to keep playing, obviously. Let's do our last topic here, Brandon. I got NFL. Dalvin Cook, D-Hop. Free agents, both looking for their next team. Dalvin Cook spoke with Adam Schefter on his podcast and talked about how, I would definitely be intrigued, and it would be dope to play with DeAndre Hopkins and be on the same team. Could we see both those guys teaming up and picking the same destination here in free agency?
We got to see who's got the money for something like that. And I think the first person I think of, or the first team that I think of, and they're just sitting back and waiting, and they're having communications with the diva, with the drama guy right now, the Bills. We got to see what's going on with Stephon Diggs. And this is with D-Hop out there and him saying that, I'll wait till July. D-Hop's in no rush to go anywhere right now. If I'm the Bills organization, I'm the GM and I'm Sean McDermott, I fly out to wherever Diggs is right now. We have one last emergency meeting. Josh Allen, you come on too. Let's fly out there. Let's sit down. Let's talk. What do you want? Do you want Ken Dorsey gone? Like what Ken Dorsey needs to be in that meeting as well. We need all hands on deck, Diggs, because if you're coming in, I need you locked in. I need you, I need you, I need you, Stephon Diggs, that is, if to me, one of the best receivers in the league. Now, if you have that conversation and you still feel as though, you know what, it doesn't look like it's going to work out between him and JA. It doesn't look like he doesn't believe in Ken Dorsey. DeAndre Hopkins, would you like to be a Buffalo Bill? You already named Josh Allen as one of the guys that you'd love to play with. You see how they got the 2 tight ends set now. You're going to need to run the ball when it comes to that. And why not add a guy along with DeAndre Hopkins, put a running back in there who's gone to 3 straight Pro Bowls, who's been top 3 in darn near every rushing statistical category the last 3 to 4 years. And it gets cold up there. You don't want to throw. Why you want to do it on the sideline? Ask for the ball in a snowstorm. It's a snowstorm, bro. We're not trying to throw the ball in a snowstorm. I got Dalvin Cook back there. And if I do have to throw the ball, I've got a sure-handed receiver in DeAndre Hopkins. That makes sense for the Buffalo Bills to make one last attempt to wine and dine or woo Stephon Diggs. And if not, you find a trade partner and you bring in a DeAndre Hopkins and see what else you can get in terms of another receiver to come in and help out as well.
Now, obviously, D-Hop has visited the Tennessee Titans already. Yep. He's visited with the Patriots, said that visit went really well. He has mutual respect, apparently, him and Belichick for each other. So you speak about the AFC East, and looks like there could be potential there. You talk about Dalvin Cook. Miami Dolphins are reportedly very interested in bringing him in. For me as a Jets fan, I'd be petrified if the Bills ended up with D-Hop and Dalvin Cook, because then you're not only just adding a second receiver that's elite, you're adding a running back, something that the Bills have never had since Marshawn Lynch, in my opinion. And that's something that's been lacking in this offense, if we really want to talk about the Bills offense, because I think Josh Allen rely too much on Josh Allen with his legs to be mobile and get those rush yards. They need they need a running back. I mean, I know they have Dalvin Cook's brother, James Cook, but he's not as talented as Dalvin, obviously, and he's not as good as Dalvin. So it would be scary, to say the least, to see Steph Diggs, Dalvin Cook, and D-Hop all on the same roster. I think it'd be scary for any offense if these two did decide to go to the same place. I mean, the AFC already is a gauntlet. So if they decide to stay in the AFC and they want to go to like a Bills team, or let's say they want to go to a Patriots, I've heard the Jets are interested in Dalvin Cook. It's just, you're picking a much tougher conference to play in, considering they're both coming from the NFC, which is, I would say, the weaker conference in football right now. It's the Eagles, in my opinion, and everyone else. Yeah. So if you're going to the AFC, you got the gauntlet of the Chiefs, the Bills, the Bengals aren't going anywhere. The Ravens got Lamar back. The Jacksonville Jaguars, they had a awesome postseason game. They're on the rise. The Chargers are still talented as heck. Haven't put it together, obviously. So it will be interesting to see if they decide to stick in those AFC, the conference. It's not going to be easy hunting there for them to try and get that ultimate goal of winning a championship, unless they pick a team, like you said, the Bills. It would probably put them over the top.
Yeah, if you're a competitor of any one of these teams, if you're in the NFL meeting room right now within the front office, you can have that guy. You can have that personnel, that person that's like, oh no, well, the money will be strapped. You're gonna be fired. You're gonna be laughed at if your competitor gets them, and you got to see these two guys twice a year, or you've got to see these guys in the playoffs. It just makes sense. I know you don't want you just look at the deal that the Rams did to go and get Matt Stafford, and everyone's like, oh, well, they're in rebuild mode. They won a Super Bowl. Forget a rebuild mode. The goal is to win the Super Bowl. I don't want to just be good every year because we saved some draft capital and all. No, I want to get to a Super Bowl and then we'll figure it out after that. Each year is different. You're not going to make it to the Super Bowl, let alone win it every single season. You want to be competitive, which the Rams weren't last year, but they had a lot of turnaround in that sense. So I look at that as there's some people right now that's crunching some numbers and trying to make it work. And the Bills and I think the Patriots, Bill O'Brien has some familiarity with DeAndre Hopkins. It didn't work out, but at the end of the day, if I can still get a Dalvin Cook in there with me, I know they got Ramondre Stevenson, but take some pressure off of Mac Jones.
I know.
A two-headed monster when it comes to running the football.
And they got Juju there too.
And Juju's there, and that's only going to open it up for you even more, DeAndre. That safety's not going to – they can't run two high shells. We're going to have a two high safety shell and skew a safety over to you. One of those safeties have to be down. They got to crowd that box. Now I've got you one-on-one. Come on now. Juju running under routes and running his possession routes. That it can help them right away, alleviate some pressure from Mac Jones. One of these teams need to do something ASAP. ASAP Rocky, ASAP Ferg, the whole ASAP clique, and bring one of these dudes in.
Yeah, I mean, I think, like you said, D-Hop's in no rush to make a decision. My one thing I think is going to happen, and it's lurking out there, and this is just me just spitballing here. I have a feeling the Chiefs are going to swoop in and just grab D-Hop and just pursue him to come here and be like, you want to win a championship? We'll sign you a 1-year deal, maybe a 2-year deal with a player option, but they always somehow end up with these guys, in my opinion. They just like, we'll take a flyer on you. Like, hey man, we got the pedigree. You got Pat, you got Travis, got Andy Reid. Say no more. So,
and especially because they got the bullseye on their back. They've always had the bullseye. So it's like everyone's adding these extra players to their team. They're adding these stars to the team. We have to maintain our championship caliber of a team. Kadarius Toney's there. I like the kid. I liked him when he was with the Giants. But again, availability is the best ability. And unless he can show he can play darn near 14 to 17 games, I can't make him into my number one just yet. But pairing him up with the D-Hop, ooh, Young Joker. Ooh, I'll buy that album, Young Joker. Yeah. I'd buy it.
It'd be fun, man. That's all I got for us today, Brandon. Yeah, that's all. Another good one, man.
Stacking days. Stacking episodes, stacking days.
Let's do it again on Thursday. What do you say?
In the words of Bart Scott, can't wait.
He's B. London. I'm Ryan. Thanks, guys.